Hello everybody, it's Christine. It is day 11 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. Let me show you the sketch. It is by Cece Inez here. And it has two pictures. There's obviously, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna call this a tab. But so at least 3 paper, oh wait a minute there. No, there's like a striped paper there. Oh, that's a little cool. 1, 2, 3, maybe a stripy paper underneath there, a scallop, and then a background. Titles up here, a couple embellishment clusters. Okay, so y'all see that. What I got going on here is I am making this obviously early, and I got in my Happy Mail this week the Vicki Boutin Print Shop, and I just love this collection, and I'm excited to use it. There's tons of ephemera, so I know I can make this work. The only thing I did have to pull out, I like all these titles. I love them all, but I want to have the words Golden Gate on here because it's the Golden Gate Bridge. And so I'm going to really, I want the words Golden Gate on here, so I'm going to have to spell that out. So I pulled out these, honestly, these cheap little sticko letters. I'm hopeful, I'll probably have to glue them down. But that's okay. So I'm kind of thinking is I might do, Hey Golden Gate or something like that. And spell out Golden Gate with these letters. So otherwise, everything else is going to be this Vicki Boutin stuff. Unless I pull something from the stash at some point because I realize I need something extra. But usually with this kind of collection, I shouldn't have to. I haven't even picked up my papers yet, y'all. I got to figure those out. But that's what I'm starting with. Oh, it's my pictures. So it's my husband. I honestly thought this was him. He just told me it's his friend that he was with. But we're going to pretend it's my husband because they both have helmets on and gray shirts. And he's basically taking the picture. So I'm just going to pretend it's him. We're not going to say nothing, right? It's a secret. Anyway, they're at the Golden Gate Bridge. He was in San Francisco a few weeks ago. I fussed on another video not too long ago. I said, he never sends me pictures. I never have pictures. And, well, he had some on his phone he hadn't shared. So there we go. Anyways, all right, well, let me get started and I'll come back soon. Okay, gang, real quick check-in. I've gone through the paper pad and I have chosen papers. So here's what I'm going to do. So if I don't, I'm going to try to remember to put the sketch up here in the corner so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. The sketch had this, diagonal stripe. I didn't find a diagonal stripe, but I do have this kind of cool grid here. So I'm thinking this is going to be the background. I love this little wood grain here because it's along the same tones as the bridge here. So I'm going to use that as like the little base here. Then there was this notebook paper piece here. And I kind of like this. It's not notebook paper, but it looks kind of schoolish or something along those lines. So I think it's going to technically be touching this, but I think I can make that work anyway. And then I did need a polka dot to go behind the photo, and I've got this polka dot inside here, so I think I can use this. And then I can use some photo mat, you know, flip it over and use the photo mat. And then the stripe paper at the bottom, I'm going to use this guy, and I'll trim it along. So that is where I'm at. So I got to start cutting so I can show. Oh, and sorry, the scallops on the side. I think I can gut this. I'm going to have to cut the first sheet first. But I think I can gut it and use some of these circles here and then cut them in half for my little scallops on the side. That's kind of my plan there. So, yeah, let me get to cutting so I can see where I'm at, and I'll come back on in a second. Talk soon. Okay, gang, another quick check-in. What I have done is exactly what I said I was going to do. I've got a little piece of cardstock back here because I've gutted this piece here, and I did get the circles out of there, right? And then I just cut it kind of was neat because some of them ended with these half circles, which was perfect because I wanted the scallops over here. So I cut the circles out. I got my little wood grain here. I've got my little stars. I did pull out my little notebook punch. I'm going to punch the top of this in a minute. I have my polka dot. This is going to end up being covered basically by the embellishment cluster over here. But even if it doesn't, it kind of looks neat. I'm not worried about it. Got my little stripe going on here. And I have matted my photo. I went ahead and scuffed the edges. I think I'm going to scuff the edges of, I think, everything. Not this piece, but everything else except when I do the notebook punch up here. I may not scuff the edge of this. I'm going to see what it looks like because I'll punch that up there and fold it up and stuff. I may have to still scuff it though. It'll look weird otherwise. But anyways, and I will scuff the edges of these little circles too. But that is where I'm at so far. Honestly, it's interesting to me because it's coming out a little bit lighter from a color palette standpoint than I thought it was going to be. But I'm not sad about it. Like, I'm really not. It looks great. So anyways, let me start doing all the scuffing, all that, and then I shouldn't talk anymore, I don't think, unless something goes wonky and I have to really, really go off track and tell you why I did it. Otherwise, I will put this on fast forward after I get this scuffed, and you'll see what goes on next. Well, what went on next was I got my title put together here. I pulled out the hay. I didn't make y'all suffer through me the relocating of this stuff. I actually kind of laid it all down. I had to relocate it just a little bit here and there. And also I had to pick all them letters out. So I didn't make y'all suffer through that. You get to see the very end down there. I am going to make y'all suffer through me looking through these ephemeras, though, because there is so many. And I really want to make sure that if you're watching this, I don't know why you choose to watch these process videos. I love watching them because I love to see how people use, you know, various pieces of the collections and in unique ways and just inspirational things. But I also watch them, if I'm honest, to see what products I might want to buy. So this particular collection is fairly new. So if you're watching this, you might be interested in getting it. Again, it's that Vicki Boutin print shop. So I'm kind of letting y'all watch me kind of sort through these ephemeras so you can kind of see what's available. There is, you know, when you kind of just saw, there's like little rulers and pens and inks and little paint swatches, and it's all like kind of tied to, I mean, thinking about a print shop, you know, making maybe printed art and that sort of thing. But there's also other things, you know, there's like little pendants right there. You see how that says, I think it says, oh, hey, and then there's like hello, but then there's butterflies. So there is a nice variety. So I'm kind of let y'all see me sort through that. Now, I'm going to be honest. I put that little tab there, that little date-looking tab. I'm going to put the date on it. The little tab on the left side of the photo, that is not in the sketch. However, on the sketch, I think I gave myself a little more room to the left of my photo than the sketch kind of called for. So for me, it felt a little bit like it needed something to fill it in. So that's why I put that tab there. And plus, it was just a nice place to put the date. So I've put that there. What I've done, that lower left corner, the collection came with this real big, nice circle. And then I took that camera. I thought that camera was cool. It was a big old camera. So I laid that over the circle. So I just kind of fill out my little, you know, lower left collection. And then there was that 1, 2, 3, go, which I loved. They did ride the e-scooters up to the back. They rolled these e-scooters up to the bridge thinking they were going to ride the scooters over the bridge. And then there was a sign that said no e-scooters on the bridge. So he said he had to ride the e-scooters all the way back down to someplace, I don't know where, and get actual bicycles. So they end up riding bicycles up over the bridge. So the 1, 2, 3, go just kind of made sense to me knowing the story. And then I did find that little circle up there that says list day in the upper right. And then on the lower right down there, I found that little, it says yes. Now, I kind of felt like those circles by themselves weren't enough. I mean, on sketch, of course, it's just like a little flower, but I needed to do a little something. So I'm kind of going back through thinking, okay, what can I do? I didn't want to add butterflies. That really didn't make any sense to me on this layout. I am okay with florals, you know, that's okay, but I got to find the right ones. You know, I don't want one too big. I don't want one too, I don't know, just too. So I'm kind of just, again, you see this ginormous stack of ephemera. Y'all, I ended up having to pull out a little iris kit or an iris container because I am not trying to put all that back in the packaging. So I end up finding this little yellow flower, and I kind of liked it because I'm not going to say it fades into the background, but it kind of does. I mean, it's not in your face. It's kind of behind the yes. And then I find in the upper right, I decide I'm going to put some leaves. And again, there's not, now this is, I have to admit, there's not any real good reason for leaves, but I just did like the little green on it. And I did feel like it kind of expanded the embellishment cluster without being like too florally. So at this point now, I didn't make y'all suffer through me gluing everything down. But then I look at the puffy stickers and I see that little getaway word. And I thought, oh, that looks good. That's going to make some sense, you know, because this little Golden Gate getaway thing. So I set it down. And when I very first set it down right under the G there, which I liked that placement from the letter standpoint, but it was kind of directly over the center of the photo split there. And I didn't care for that. So I scooched it to the right just a hair. I'm not a real... I don't love symmetry in the sense of I'm not one to do exactly the same thing on each side of something, like a mirror, you know, that kind of thing. I like balance. I'm not going to say I like symmetry, if that makes any sense. So I don't like things like usually smack dab in the middle. So I scooched my word to the right a little bit. And then I pulled out the chipboard pieces, and there's, of course, tons of those. And so I pulled out those stars. I like the little stars. And that's kind of going back to the little stars on the notebook paper looking thing, or the little grid paper. So I put down an orange one, a yellow one, and a little turquoise one. And then I get back in the puffy stickers because I like the little, she has tons of little dots and things. I love the way she designs these collections because with these puffies, with these chipboards, you get so many little sprinkle bits too. I just adore her collections for that reason. So then I'll go ahead and write my date on here, August 2022. And that's all I'm going to do this layout. I think this turned out really cute. I don't think it's too feminine for boys. It's a neat little travel layout, even without a travel theme, if that makes some sense. And I really like this sketch. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to click the playlist. There's tons of people playing along. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And, of course, check out my Instagram. And we will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.